extremely homesick. Just the coaching, man. They just had it really good in high school. You can tell. That's my job. We want to be close to y'all. Is that techno? Welcome back to the Techno Club.
Welcome to Bennett C. Russell Stadium for an Irish Bill Sports broadcast of Navarre Raider football. Here's your host and the voice of Raider Nation, Irish Bill. And here come the Raiders.
You like that? You like that one, huh, Marty?
Raiders.
No, do not adjust your cameras. This is not Bob. Bob will be coming out of the bullpen tonight.
Yeah, my tan's a little better. So.
And he's over there finishing his great grub here at Buffalo Wild Wings. Welcome back, second week of the Buffalo Wild Wings Coaches Show. Irish Bill with Marty Wilson, and we're going to have Coach Lawson, who I actually saw Coach Lawson play in high school. And he was a hitter.
He barely looks like he's out of high school.
I know. But he did. I see he did clean up that beard a little bit. Did the wife get on you a little bit? Yeah, I knew that. But we got a great show lined up. I think we're going to have Bryce Wheeler coming in. A couple sacks for Bryce last Friday night. 8 tackles on the night. Great performance by Bryce. And he got to score his first high school touchdown last week.
He's an impact player, to say the least.
Most definitely. So we're going to talk high school football. We're going to have Coach Lawson in for an interview, and then Bryce in as well. And we'll let you interview Bryce, and Seminole Bob's going to take care of Coach Lawson. And he played in your last season was 2006, wasn't it? Yeah, 06. Yeah, and that's when things were about to change. So that was the year that they went to the playoffs for the first time, or was that? That was the year after. Okay. Yeah, 06, 07 was the Raiders' first 2 playoff appearances, and I can remember that like it was yesterday, and it just seems here we are 19 years later, and time keeps on rolling. It doesn't stop for anyone, Marty.
Bill, I was in Japan in 2006. I just went down memory lane when he said that. I graduated in 2001. I think that was a sweet spot for high school football. We were still allowed to kind of, spear people, which I know that's not allowed now, but Coach Lawson and I, we could put our heads down a little bit when we were tackling people. That was a lot of fun. But
that tells me a lot about you guys.
Yeah, my head coach was a Marine, so he was a hard-nosed.
I couldn't imagine practices.
It was tough. It was fun, though. Looking back on it, I miss him a lot of discipline, a lot of structure. I wasn't blessed enough to have my dad alive when I was in high school, so his mentorship was invaluable for me. The discipline that I learned, and eventually going to the military and serving the country for 20 years. He was a big-time pillar in my life, and I'm super excited about where we're headed. Everything that I learned from him, I've been to apply now, especially with what we do. And even with this venture that we have with the Irish Bill Network, super excited about life in general.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Raiders were on the short end of a 42-27 loss last Friday night over in the Gulf Breeze. It was supposed to be a home game, but due to game field not being able to be played on here at Bennett C. Russell Stadium, they moved the game on down the Gulf Breeze. Catholic, they got a good combination of running and passing.
They do. I don't think the score was a direct indication of what the game actually was. We gave up a last-minute touchdown before halftime on a screen pass. You never see that happen before. I've never seen that before. And I think us not playing in the preseason game the week before kind of attributed to some of the mistakes that was made by our D-line and our linebackers. So I think we'll clean that stuff up and be a lot better this week.
Most definitely. They got Choctaw coming up Friday night. very good. One of the better teams in the Panhandle this year.
Yeah.
Led by Coach Frank Beasley. I believe he's in like his third or fourth season over there now. And he's got a team that they could throw the ball, they can run ball, but they will hit you in the face.
Yes, sir. They're a physical team. I don't think the offensive line is as talented as ours or Pensacola Catholic. So they're going to have a hard time with our interior rushers, specifically Bryce Wheeler and Matthew Lee. I think they're going to have big games, and it's going to be exciting to see.
Well, Bryce had 8 tackles last week. Lee had 8 as well. Bryce with the 2 sacks. He caused a fumble as well. He's a force in the middle. They're led by Jaden Jones, the sophomore, with 12 tackles. You don't usually like your defensive back leading your team in tackles.
That's true, but there was a lot of short passing game and then some bounce outs with the running backs. Jaden, he was not afraid to come up and get his head dirty, his nose dirty, and make some tackles, which is good. Both corners, Ezekiel was coming up hard. Curtis Sanders, he's very physical. So our secondary, I think, is going to be a strength, especially when we get everything cleaned up front in the front 7. I think we got a good opportunity to do that this week. Choctaw likes to run the ball a lot. So I think it's going to be a physical game.
Yeah, I was looking over these defensive statistics from last week, and I'm trying to see how many starters are back from last year's team. And I only see like 3 or 4 starters back from last year's team. So we got a lot of fresh faces, but I like the potential of some of these young men like Rowan Strom.
Yeah, Strom.
He reminds me a lot of one Chris Stapleton. He hits like Chris. And that's saying a lot because Chris is one of the hardest hitters I've ever. I still remember a game when they played over at Catholic, and Catholic was deep and on their own end, and the quarterback rolled out, and Chris met him at the line of scrimmage, and you could just hear the pop throughout the stadium. I mean, if he didn't get him, it was a 90-yard touchdown run for the quarterback. But Chris made sure that he didn't get one step further. He went on and played at Florida Tech. He's their all-time leading tackler at Florida Tech because they no longer have a football program. And but man, he was a great young man too. And his sisters, you talk about softball players. Wow, Jessica and Danielle. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you're not the only one that I've heard communicate about Chris Stapleton. I wish I could have been here to witness him play the game. I love that old school, hard-nosed physical football. We were still running the wishbone when I was back in high school, so we were coming up, running downhill at safety. Man, it would have been nice to see Chris play.
And his dad was a wrestler. He was one spot out of making the Olympic team as a wrestler. He went to University of Oregon.
Oh man!
And he came here to Navarre and opened up Chris Stapleton Realty. And but great family there. They're still doing great things. But let's get on to. We'll go over our since. You may not have watched last night, and why didn't you? Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday night, you should put it on your calendar. Put it on your iPhone. That way you'll get an alert saying,
Debbie's here. What's going on, Miss Debbie?
Yeah, I can always count on Miss Debbie. Can't count on Bama, but I can count on Debbie. That's going to get her going.
No, look, Miss Debbie, her love, just everything she does as a person is unwavering.
Oh, right? It is.
I had an opportunity to do some business with her back in the day, man, and her work ethic is consistent and unreal, especially to be the person that she is.
And she loves her community as well.
She does.
But your Irish Bills Panhandle Power Rankings for Week 1, this is how it goes for the large schools, though. It's 4A, 5A, 6A, no 7A schools in the Panhandle. Mosley 1, Choctaw 2, Fine Forest 3, Niceville 4, Pace 5, Tate 6, Milton gets their first win after going winless last year. Over the small schools, Catholic, Walton, South Walton, Destin, Jay, Baker, and Freeport. Your players of the week, your offensive player from Jay, James. You see how they did that? And then they knew he was going to Jay, so it's Jaymes.
Yes.
James Youngblood, his brother plays quarterback up there at Jay. They don't throw the ball much over there. He had 23 carries, 253 yards, 3 touchdowns last week. Our defensive player from Walton, Kyron Campbell, 10 tackles, 6. What impressed me the most was the 6 tackles for loss.
He was living in the backfield.
He was. And then we're going to go over to special teams. And Mosley always has great special teams. Maverick Wright, 8 for 8 as they beat Rutherford last week, 64-15. And A lot of great performance, and I'll post the rest of the Panhandle stuff in the morning, so you get to see all the talented players we got throughout the Panhandle from here on over to Gadsden County. But great, another great year of football, and it's time to get to our picks. We're gonna bust these out right away. We're gonna bust a move.
Debbie, I am on the board officially. Officially this week.
He's picking tonight, Debbie. I'm not going to tell you who he picked in the Bama game. But anyways, let's go over last week real quick. Joe went 22-5. I mean, he just keeps on rolling. I came in second, 19-8. Bob 18-9, and Paul Revere, he couldn't come back from that ride last week, 15-12. But we're going to head to our picks this week, and Marty's jumping in the bandwagon here. Actually, our first game, we got 2 Thursday night games. North Florida Christian traveling over to Panama City, just outside the Panama City limits at North Bay Haven. And Paul is the only one that's taking North Bay Haven. The rest of us are taking North Florida Christian. Rickard's at Eastside. That's a long trip from Tallahassee on over to Gainesville. All of us are going with Eastside in that one. We got a mixed one here, Navarre at Choctaw. Bob and I stick with our Raiders. And we got Joe, Paul, and Marty going with the Choctaw Indians at home.
I still love Navarre like my baby.
I know. Catholic at Pace. Bob's going with Catholic for the upset at Pace. The rest of us going with the Patriots at home, and they'll get to set off their fireworks on Friday night.
I can't see Pace losing back-to-back games.
I cannot either. That was a very good team that they played last week, that Mary G. Montgomery team.
You called that one, Bill. You called
I
that
did.
One. Yep.
We got Pine Forest going to Daphne, Alabama. Bob and Joe are taking Pine Forest. The Eagles on the road. They're heading over to Daphne. Paul, myself, and Marty are taking Daphne at home. That's a clean sweep in our next one, Milton at Pensacola. We're all going with Panthers. Go to 2-0.
Yeah.
Let's move on over to Tate. We got Gulf Breeze going to Tate. Kind of a mismatch here. We're all going with the Aggies at home. One of the best bands in the Panhandle of Florida. And actually, they've been invited to so many parades. I've lost track of how many parades they've gone to. We're all going with Tate there. Fort Walton Beach at South Walton. The Seahawks came out strong last week against Gulf Breeze, 35-6. We're all going with the Seahawks. They opened up their new stadium last week with the win, and they're going to get another win this week. Washington at West Florida. Marty, you and I did our research on this one. Yeah. Washington looked really good in their preseason kickoff over at Childs. They actually beat Childs by 20 points over there. So Marty and I are going with the Wildcats of Washington. Everybody else going with West Florida, who knocked off Escambia on Monday night, 18-13 in a game that was supposed to be played on Friday. Mm-hmm. Then we got Jay going over to Freeport. You guys are ganging up on Irish Bill in this one because I had conversation with the Freeport quarterback last night on Twitter, on X, and he assures me that it's going to be a win for Freeport at home.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if it happened. I wouldn't be surprised.
Nah, he didn't assure me anything. I was congratulating on him. Nice game he had last week. Yeah. Baker at Destin. That's kind of mismatch here. We got Bob and Joe going with Baker on the road. The rest of us going with Destin. The Sharks at home. And E.G. Green, the third. Head coach still over there at Destin. Bay at Mosley. that game, it might be over before they get off the bus. Well, they don't even have to ride the bus because they're playing at home.
Yes, sir.
But both teams, both Bay and Mosley play at that stadium there. I believe it's Tommy Oliver Stadium, if I remember right. Yeah. I usually mess that one up. But Mosley put up 54 points in the first half Actually, 50. Was it 50? Yeah, 54 points.
They have some weaponry, to say the least.
They do.
Their receiving core is loaded.
Most definitely. Actually, they put up 49 in the first half, and then he finished off with 15 more in the second half. But anyways, let's move on over to – we all took Mosley in that one. Leon at Bozeman. Joe and I are taking Leon, Bob, Paul, and Marty. That sounds like a group. And they're going with Bozeman at home. Florida High had a nice win last week, but they're going to Thomas County Central, Georgia. up in your neck of the woods in Georgia there. You got a little
some tough football going on up there.
and we're all going with Thomas County Central. Uriah is on the schedule, but it's actually Blackshear. The city is Uriah, but we're all going with Blackshear on the road at Central. Jefferson County at Lighthouse. Joe always picks one that nobody else picks, and this is one he's picking Jefferson County at Lighthouse. We're all going with Lighthouse except Joe. Pelham, Georgia, going to Childs. We're all going with the Timberwolves at home. Linden, Alabama at Chipley. The Tigers at home. Taylor County at Wakulla. The War Eagles are they're almost tough. You can't beat Wakulla at home. Opp, Alabama, venturing into Florida. Joe's the only one going with Northview. Northview did not score an offensive point last week as they got beat 37-2 against Destin. Let's move on down to Port St. Joe at Holmes County. Marty going with the Holmes County team, and he's venturing out there a little bit. He's feeling a little skippy. Cottondale heading to FAMU. No matchup there. Everybody going with Cottondale. Vernon at Liberty County. Bob and Joe taking Vernon. Sneeds at Seminole County, Georgia. We're all going with Seminole County in that one. Franklin County at Bell, all going with the Seahawks there. Providence Christian at Arnold. We're all taking Providence Christian except Bob. Bob's taking Arnold after they did not look very good in week one.
They got rocked.
Then we're going Osceola Christian going to Petula Charter. I believe that is in Alabama, if I remember right.
You are correct.
And they're all going. We're all going with Osceola Christian, whose game got canceled last week due to weather. Bill at Houston County, Alabama. Bob and